my loves, it's your related girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to y'all with some commentary about your boy 50 Cent. Now, if you guys don't know, 50 Cent is now executive producing a documentary pretty much following the last days of Diddy before he had his trial, which he obviously was convicted. And it's now going to be released tonight on Netflix at midnight. Now, what's really interesting about this is there's a little bit of scandal involving how how 50 Cent rather was able to obtain this kind of footage. There was a little bit of an issue with who Diddy had contracted with, because apparently Diddy wanted to make his own documentary, and so he was going to be documenting his journey anyway. However, he found out that he was not going to have full creative process or full creative control, and so he backed out at the last minute. He had contracted with a different videographer or the company. The one guy who he contracted with, or another, they were able to get their hands on this footage. Now, 50 Cent sat down with Good Morning America and had a lot to say about this whole Diddy situation, and what that means for him. We all know that 50 Cent and Diddy never really got along. One thing about him is if he has an issue with you, you're going to know about it. 50 Cent has historically gone on to say that Diddy has made him feel uncomfortable. There were many other celebrities who we've seen. Remember that little situation that happened on Drink Champs? And he's out of his mind. He's like, yeah, I love it when you call me daddy. I love it when you call me daddy. And I'm talking like, gangster dudes, gangster grills, are just sitting around just like too afraid to say anything.
Where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
No.
I like that.
I've been practicing. I got
Now, I do want to say that people are like, well, do you think that this whole Diddy conviction is a reflection of the hip hop community? I watched a little bit of The Breakfast Club, and they said basically, we hate when they say that because it was, just one person. It was just this person. But Diddy has been involved in the music industry for so long that you can't just say it was one person. When people say the question of, do you think that this is a reflection of the hip hop industry or the music, they should say the music industry or the entertainment industry, I think that it's a fair assessment to say that a lot of people were complicit to poor and negative behavior, women and men alike. Now, obviously during the 90s, women did not have the same amount of privilege and access that men would have, but you're not going to convince me that other men, artists, producers, executives did not know of some of the sexual proclivities. You're not going to convince me of that, okay? Because what happens when people are gatekeepers, they keep the gates. Like, they don't want to be the only ones that's not going to have access to. And they also don't want to limit the opportunities that they have. We have to understand the power and dynamics that Diddy has. I think we cannot underscore enough how much of a player he was in this industry. Boom. Now that that's being said, we have to get into the documentary. There are going to be interviews from Capricorn Clark, which I can't wait to see what this girl look like. Okay, if you remember anything about the Diddy trial, she kind of gave it up on the stand, but then also too, she made it seem like she wanted to kind of work for his empire again. Like, she would love to work with him again. So the fact that, they didn't run her no check, they didn't run it back, or whatever the case may be, it's no surprise that she's getting that Netflix check. We're going to hear from some jurors. We're going to hear from other directors, what's her name? Gabrielle O'Day. Is her name Audrey O'Day? Girl, I'm naming that lady something completely different else. Audrey O'Day. I think it's so important to hear from Aubrey because you can look at her and see that she is a woman who was abused. Like, she is a scorned woman. And I feel like because she never took the stand, because a lot of her castmates, didn't come forth outside of Dawn, I want to hear what she has to say. She's a key. If you've seen her on Baddies, she's going to give it up. She got those big eyes, those big boobs, and we're going to see what she actually has to say. And I think that it's important to give people who were once oppressed and voiceless, to give them an opportunity to speak. Everybody is trying to say like, oh, we don't know the logistics of what happened with the whole Netflix thing or the footage or whatever. I feel like this, if Netflix got behind it, you don't think that the legal team was able to get that, squared away to begin with? And not only that, Netflix has enough power and influence to combat anything that his lawyers had going on, okay? Now, if you're watching this live, hey y'all, make sure you are tapping the screen. If you're watching this on a replay, I'm gonna play the video here.
No matter what, no matter what nobody said, let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning. Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the public.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
Lord, you win. Lord, you win. We win it.
I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
You're a public person.
So let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details. You know, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this courtroom.
Do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors.
So one of the biggest takeaways for me was the fact that Diddy was literally like, oh my gosh, I have to wash my hands, hand sanitizer. I've been around the people for so long. I got to take a bath after this. I can't, this, that, and the third. Now, obviously, 50 was very happy to kind of see that he was showing his hand like that. He couldn't even believe that he would have something like that be captured and on camera. I think that this is important to kind of see his character, because a lot of people have parasocial relationships with these celebrities, right? They think, oh, he's a black man and he's from the streets and this and that. It's been a very long time since he's been around any of you niggas. In fact, he said, I feel like I have to take a bath. Now, to his defense, and I'm not ever coming to no man's defense, especially nobody like a Diddy, but to add perspective and context to this. And we'll have to see it once we actually watch the footage and what his comments were after the fact. But when you're around a whole bunch of people, energetically, it's a lot. And I need a kind of reset. I need a little Florida water mist. I need a little something to get up off on me, because it's a lot of energy, one, first and foremost. And then two, like, yeah, I mean, you talking about someone that was like 150 people, you was in the streets, but you was supposed to be the Pied Piper. You supposed to be in the streets. You perform in front of 150,000 people at the Barclays. You wasn't upset about it then, but because you're actually in the streets, it's an issue. Another piece to me that really stood out was the fact that, the woman, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. She's like, this is about telling a story. I think that it's important to tell the story. And I think we're also coming into a different type of awareness as like how we kind of deal with power dynamics, how we deal with relationships, how we advocate for women, how we advocate for men who are in power. And I think it's important to see the way that he was moving in those days. I think it's important to see how he was kind of like delegating his lawyers. He like, listen, I don't care what you're talking about. This shit not working. Let's figure it out. I'm going to be watching this. This is a 4-part series, guys. It's going to be dropping at midnight, and I cannot wait to get into it. I think this is going to be very, very telling. It may have some weight because he's going up for another appeal, girl. Hey, Mara. Peace and love, Mara. And I just feel like, oh, thank you for hearing me. I appreciate you, sister. I just feel like the judge still may take this type of documentary into consideration. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, what's the other girl? The other girl from Dirty Money. She's going to be talking about it. I think that this is going to open up the conversation to see what the back end was like. And I feel like Diddy has such a God complex that he was like, of course I'm going to document all of this because I'm going to make it out on the other side. This is the type of delusion in a positive way, sister, that we need to have when it comes to our goals, when it comes to our dreams. Like, I don't even care what these people talk about. I'm going to win so bad, I'm about to be recording it, okay? And this is why I'm recording this YouTube video live because, you know, if you don't follow me on YouTube, make sure you head over there because that's where this video will be uploaded, okay? I just wanted to come up here and give my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. Will you be tuning in? It's dropping tonight, December 12th. Actually, I'm going to release it at midnight. And I will be here. 4-part series. We're going to be getting into some real things. I think Capricorn Clark's testimony, the way she carried on that stand, I can't wait to see what she has to say. And because she's looking for a moment of one, vindication and a little piece of virality and a check, I think she's really going to give it up. Okay, she was there for when the car apparently was blown up allegedly and everything like this. So it's going to be some really good key players a part of this documentary. Let me know what you think. I know everybody will be watching and will be following up. Okay, as always, I'm sending much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.